Hello, I'm Toycat, and have you heard about the new cape leak? Well, leak is the wrong word, but this was data mined from the latest preview. SmokeyStack shared the new asset for the incentive cape, which means that likely somewhere inside the next Minecraft version, there will be a way for you to see this in the game and to encourage you to get the incentive cape. You might recall the incentive cape, it was a placeholder that leaked in January, but Wham actually is another data miner who confirms that it's likely going to be able to be claimed simply by logging into Microsoft, which would make this the easiest to claim cape yet. Anyway, this is Q&A Saturday, and we're not just going to talk about capes, but also the interesting news about the Minecraft movie. Yes, the police were called in multiple occasions, and also Minecraft Dungeons 2, which we're fairly sure we have a release date for, as well as answering your big questions about the summer drop, which we're still fairly confused with regards to the theme. We still just have one major feature and one maybe feature, and let's talk about all of this and more today, starting with this funny little story, because Hyonk here says that people are going so crazy the cops are getting called into the cinemas. If you haven't seen the clips of that, it is absolutely wild. But what's interesting about this is that in the UK, there is a cinema that has just started banning under 18s from attending evening showings of the Minecraft movie without an adult. That is how wild the Minecraft movie trend has gotten, and it goes to show that there's a lot of energy that people want to pour into Minecraft and are showing towards the movie in a strange way, and it's a shame because it's overshadowing the great work done by Jason Momoa, Jeb, and Jack Black into making what might be the greatest movie of our generation. I mean, between the plot, the romance, all of the delightful foreshadowing they have in this movie, I think that we're going to be looking back in 100 years and saying it's the greatest movie of our generation. It's going to be on par with The Godfather, it's going to be on par with Citizen Kane or Casablanca, and I think that as a result of that, it's really important that we dive into the biggest controversy of the movie, which came from this fun cruise shot of Henry as well as Steve, and then Jeb's right there, finally getting to meet one of his own characters. And what's delightful about this is the fact that you might notice they're running Minecraft in the background, but if you're eagle-eyed, you'll notice that it's actually Minecraft Bedrock, and even more notably from the Tales and Trails update. This caused a lot of outrage, and so why is it that the set was all being filmed with Minecraft Bedrock in the background? Well, the answer's actually quite easy. They had both running on set. This is an executive producer from the movie. The people on console were on Bedrock, but us on PCs and Macs were using Java. And so was it one server or two? And they answered, well, the amount of effort to sort that up on console was basically too much, so they just used Realms as the easiest way. And I think that's something important to note. All of the cast, for the most part, have shown that they were playing the Bedrock version of the game, because even people who are into Minecraft enough to star in a movie for multiple months on end, to dress as Steve for all that time, ultimately just want to play Minecraft and don't want to deal with the rest. And that maybe is why maybe Microsoft, you could say, thought it was so important to get the Bedrock version running on consoles. Speaking of running on consoles, let's talk about the next Minecraft announcements that you can be excited for as of right now. I think the soonest one is definitely going to be more summer drop features, and we will have to circle back around to that, but also the next one after that will likely be something to do with this incentive cape. Clearly there is some reason they want more players to link to Microsoft accounts, and they think this cape is going to be the way to do so. I do think that capes are a really effective way to get people to do anything. I mean, look at the Minecraft live experience. The number of people who are giving it a go solely because you get this one cape is incredible. And side note, I have now gone a couple of times. I do just have to mention that yes, everyone keeps asking for the cape codes, and I do have some spares, but I figured, you know what, just giving them out to strangers seems really unfair and unequitable, and so then I figured, why don't I give them out to members of my team? And so that also then felt too fair and too equitable, so let's do so via a series of silly mini games, and that's what I'm going to do after I've worked out exactly who on the team wants one, and after I've worked out how many codes there are to actually distribute, I'll work out a series of fun games to make sure it works. Anyway, let's talk about the other interesting announcement that Xbox have made this week. So the Xbox Game Showcase is something that happens every year, and they just announced the date for this one would be June the 8th. That is a Sunday, and it's going to be 10 a.m. Pacific or 6 p.m. UK time, and what's notable is they say that our annual Xbox Game Showcase will bring you a look at upcoming titles from across our first-party studios, in addition to incredible new titles from our third-party partners. Now, here's the interesting thing about Mojang releasing new games. When they last did this with Minecraft Legends, that game released in spring of 2023, and it was announced at the 2022 Xbox Game Showcase. Now, all of the leaks we've seen from Minecraft Dungeons 2 have hinted that it will be coming out in spring 2026. There's that definitely not confirmed roadmap, but there are the leakers who have the supposed images of the game that do say it's aiming at a spring 2026 release date, which means that surely 2025 Xbox Game Showcase is the logical time to see it. I am entirely on board with this theory, and I also think that it makes sense because even though Minecraft Live is the best place to reach a Minecraft audience, if you want to reach a broader gaming audience, actually the Xbox Game Showcase is probably it. And so June the 8th is an important date to mark down in your calendar because it's likely when we're going to see the Minecraft Dungeons 2 reveal. And just in case you're curious, I also imagine that's where we get towards the end of the summer drop. We know for a fact that they want to release it in June, and so that means that they need to be finished with the update by the end of May or by the start of June, and so that is very useful if you're, say, trying to book international travel, want to know when there's not going to be as much Minecraft news, but it's also very interesting because it means that we have at most 2 months between now and the end of the summer drop. And so Dylan Norris asked the very interesting question of what do you think will be the next features in this drop? And I want to respond to this by saying usually I like to come at these questions and give you an answer that is slightly more intelligent than the average person could guess, but when it comes to the summer drop, genuinely, who has any idea? We've seen one feature so far, the Happy Ghast. Seriously, they did a whole presentation for it, and people love the Happy Ghast and the Ghastlings and all of that stuff, but it's the only thing we've seen, even though we're 5 betas and previews into this update. Now, to be fair, we're only one snapshot into the summer drop, so if we use snapshot style measuring, it makes a lot more sense, but it does still mean it's very hard to get a feel for this update because the player locator bar would make it a sure thing that this is a multiplayer game drop, but the player locator bar is in its own separate experimental toggle on both Java and Bedrock, so that means there's a real chance they don't even intend to release these at the same time. That then, although it is worth mentioning that when they revealed the player locator bar, they did title it Summer Drop, so I'm guessing they're planning to put it in there, but what else is going to be in this drop? Genuinely could be anything. Probably not an update to the end, and probably not another mob because we effectively just got 2, and so is it going to be new blocks? That is the most intelligent guess I can make, which is kind of wild, right? That we are this, we've seen the update be announced, but we only really saw one feature from it, and now that feature has come out, we are in the big mystery of Minecraft, which means next Tuesday, I hope at the very least, is when we're going to find out what is happening with the summer drop. What will the theme be and what are they going to do? Well, Link to the Future, ZS9KM, says, I'm still in the camp of updating the end before adding new dimensions, and I want to respond to this with the comment I made in that video, but Dasher makes it eloquently here, which is saying, yeah, I really want an end update, but I don't want to be associated with the people who spammed L Minecraft, lazy, no end at the Happy Ghast reveal. I don't want to be one of those bitter people that is only upset because my thing doesn't come to the game, and ultimately I think the end does need an update, but I do think that if they had a better idea for a new dimension than for the end, wouldn't we prefer to do it that way too? And so Roller Troll says, we've been waiting 3 years for the Deep Dark portal, maybe now is the time. And no, yeah, this is the weird thing. I got so many comments based on the title of my video talking about Mojang's dimension update who hadn't actually watched it, where I confirmed that yeah, even though they're planning a dimension update, I would be surprised if it was anywhere nearby, and particularly if the Deep Dark portal, I think it's actually really cool that they gave us the portal so many years before the dimension. And I know you're thinking, no, Toycat, that's an insane take. Stop trying to have hot takes here. But actually think about it. If Mojang knew that in 2029, let's just make up a year, they wanted to add a new dimension to the game, aren't you glad that they added the portal in 2022 so that any world made over the last 7 years would definitely have it? That would probably mean the majority of worlds have it, and so when the new dimension comes to the game, you'd be able to really easily find it. It's the ultimate mark of respect for long-term survival worlds, and I'm really happy they did that. But yeah, it doesn't help us answer the final question, which is what is the big theme for the summer drop? And the reason that I'm not making it the title of this video, the reason that I am still very conflicted and confused is because I think we're at the crossroads right now where we genuinely get to find out, does Mojang have some grander plan for drops where they've been deliberately planning out like smaller drops here and medium drops there so that they can have a big one and they just haven't announced what that big thing is? Or is the drop system actually a less effective way of getting content out? If we get deeper into the summer drop and we see very few new features, again, if we imagine it's even smaller than the spring drop, I think that that is a bad sign for the drop system. But also, incidentally, I think it is entirely possible that we see Mojang roll out brand new features starting next week and that it's a genuine surprise for all of us. One of the things that they realized very quickly with the way they used to reveal updates is people already felt bored of the features by the time it hit snapshots, let alone by the time it hit the main game, and so this is something that they really are working on by having snapshots and betas come out not that long before the main update comes out, and having basically no announcement of those. It means that sometimes seems we are lost as the community right now, but I am hoping, and to be fair, hoping is like a 50-50 strategy of Mojang, I am hoping that that means we're about to see something cool next Tuesday. So I would keep my eyes peeled. I certainly am going to keep my eyes peeled on Tuesday. Anyway, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. I hope you found it to be an enlightening view as to what is happening in Minecraft right now, and indeed what might be happening in Minecraft very soon. And if you did enjoy this sort of thing and want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel, because this is where you can see all sorts of Minecraft news, not wildly sensationalized, but instead in the way that is hopefully most informative and engaging to you. With that said, thank you, and I'll see you next time. Yeah, hopefully. Goodbye.